Hi everyone, welcome to day 3 of the NAB show. This is our first session for the day. We have our partner Cloud SoDA on stage today. I have Greg Hollick, VP of Product, Brian Morsch, SVP Sales and Business Development, and Dave Leopold from LucidLink. We're going to talk about how powerful the combination of LucidLink and SoDA is for ingest to archive.
Thanks, Leda. So first of all, welcome, Brian and Greg. We're really happy to have you here at our booth. So for anyone who doesn't know, we have a really great partnership with Cloud SoDA. We've found that we have so many customers who come to us asking, how do we actually get our data into the cloud? How do we get it down from the cloud? How do we move it from one instance to another? And through our partnership, we've actually found some really great workflows and some amazing synergies that I'd love to talk about. But before we get too far into that, I'd love to just sort of get a background. Can you give us sort of, tell us a little bit more about Cloud SoDA's history and where you come from?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So we've been around for about 4 years now, and we built SoDA because there's a gap in the market on good data movers out there. There's legacy systems, you got lock-in, data movement, you can't get your data very easily. You got enterprise type products that are moving data, but it's cost prohibitive. They're complex to manage. And we wanted to build something that was simple because we need that next gen data mover, and that's cost effective. And that's what we built SoDA on. And we're pretty happy with what we built in the partnership with LucidLink.
And what really sets you apart from the other data movers out there? Because there's a lot of people moving data, but there's something very unique about the way that you do it.
Yeah, so I'll take that one. So SoDA, I'll set a baseline with what we do. We have very high-speed scanning, so we can scan data sets very rapidly. We also have built, patent-pending protocols for doing data movement, so we can move data with the best of them. So I would say, we have a very rock-solid product that can move data, multi-threaded UDP type of protocols to move data very quickly and securely. Everything is sent securely. And then above and beyond that, we can do cost analytics. That's a big thing for us. So before you move your data, especially dealing with cloud, you might want to know how much it's going to cost you to move data into the cloud, out of the cloud, those hidden egress fees that you get. So the idea here is we can show you that before you even move your data. We can also put price books, we call that, to do our cost analytics on anything. So you could put that on cloud storage, you can put that on on-prem storage, and you can really get an overall view of how much your storage ecosystem is costing you. So that's one of our big differentiators. On top of that, we have a very simple and easy to use UI. I'll be demoing after this session, so definitely stick around, guys, so you can see some cool stuff. And on top of that, we know that moving data to the cloud can be, the cost can be unpredictable, and we didn't want to be the tax man. So we have flat, simple pricing. So we're not taxing by the terabyte to move data. So you pay one fixed, yearly subscription cost, and we'll move you get unlimited data movement. And that's really great for enterprise level customers because they're not now getting taxed, to move petabyte scale data sets.
Yeah, I think that's really a key differentiator that's worth emphasizing, because when we talk to customers, and a lot of it comes down to the budget, obviously, but it's the unknowns that are so hard to really calculate ahead of time.
It's amazing how many organizations are still writing scripts open source, and the reason why, because they don't want to go spend $250,000 to move 3 petabytes of data. That's why everybody's doing that. Every customer out there, the big boys, the Disneys, the Foxes, they're all doing it. And we built SoDA to come in there and solve that challenge. And it's simple and it's cost effective and it's a no-brainer in a lot of organizations.
So obviously here at LucidLink, we get your data in the cloud. Once it's in the cloud, that's where LucidLink really comes in and allows you to edit directly from the cloud, share, have that single source of truth, incredibly secure. So having you as a partner has been great because you provide that extra service that we don't do ourselves. Can you talk a little bit about how we work together?
Yeah,
really
yeah,
well?
sure. So first thing, and something I've really been resonating at the show is, a lot of people have already gotten their data into the cloud, and it's hard to move data. Let's say you've got an S3 bucket or something like that, and you want to move your project into a Lucid file space to be able to access it, do your workflow and get that. So the first part you can see here is we can do the data ingest into an enterprise or even a basic file space with LucidLink. So we can do that rapidly, quickly, pick your data sets, and get that in there, and all the while knowing the cost analytics of that. Then the other thing we can do with LucidLink is we can move the data between the enterprise and the basic. So if a project's finished, paused, something goes on hold, you want to save some money, you can simply move the data from the enterprise to the basic file space. And then last but not least, you can archive that data set. So maybe you're done with the project or the workflow and you want to move it to archive, or even data protection in a colder bucket. That could be anything from, like, we partner with Wasabi, that could be a Backblaze, that could be a Glacier bucket or a Deep Glacier bucket, right? So we can provide that end-to-end workflow of getting the data in and then getting the data moved between the tiers and then archiving the data set. You're great because you provide that global file space so everybody can access it. We complement that with the data movement to get the data in there so people can access it.
Yeah, and we even suggest that you use a basic file space as an active archive. So when you're done with a project, that doesn't mean you're not going back to it in the next 6 months. And this is really an incredible solution in order to get the data from your main production file space into that basic file space for active archive.
Yeah, and we have a policy-based engine that can help with that to make that happen. And the idea here is I think of definitely that as a warm tier of storage, and then eventually that archives that deep cold when you're done. But yeah, that active file space makes it really easy to see that data, and we can move that data up there. So,
Hey, the number one thing is it's all about simplicity. I see LucidLink is the next gen file space simplicity that anybody can download and immediately have access, and I think SoDA has the same capabilities, and he put our solution together and we can solve ingest to archive at a price point that benefits anybody's budget. Why you're not looking at it, or if you don't know what it is, you should come.
Yeah, I'd actually like. Are you able to show us a little demo?
Yeah, let's actually show a demo. This is going to be exciting.
That's
so
great.
It's going to be kind of cool. I've got Dominic over here from LucidLink who's going to help me with my demo. So this is going to be kind of interactive, and we're going to show you moving data, some of the cost analytics. So let's get into it.
Great, thank you.
Hey, thanks, David.
Thanks.
All right, I'll try to do this with a mic in one hand and my fingers with the other. Okay, so I've logged into the SoDA UI here, and so what I'll walk you through is a couple different things with SoDA. So the first thing I want to show you with SoDA is the storage, because in order to move data, you have to see the storage. So let's jump right in and see what we've got here. So I've got SoDA supports anywhere to anywhere data movement. So you can see here, I support all the clouds, I support everybody. So I've got S3 buckets, Azure, I can do object store, but most importantly, you see NFS, partner with VAST, but we've got LucidLink here. For this demo, I'll be doing, Lucid production, Lucid nearline. Also be playing with some Amazon buckets to show you some of those hidden fees that we've got. And then, I got a Wasabi bucket. So we've got all that set up. Something we do support in SoDA that is from an AWS perspective, and all the cloud vendors, I support all their tiers of storage, kind of like with LucidLink, I support both. So you can see all the different tiers, so we can write and add and read data from any one of those tiers. Also, we have what's called price books. So this is where we can model Lucid's price cost as well as all cloud vendors' price cost. You can see that here. And you can even, so if I add one, You can see here, like AWS requires credentials, but I have custom S3 or even local, and we just do storage price by penny per gig per month or whatever you've got, and egress fees as well. So we can cover basically anybody's storage inside SoDA. Once you've set that up, let's bounce over. We have what's called agent-based technology. That's how we talk to the storage. So we kind of have a hub and spoke. I'm logged into the conductor, but we have agents. These work great with LucidLink, so they've got their agent, we've got our agent. We can then see their storage and move data seamlessly. You can see here the conductor comes with an agent, and then basically it's real simple in SoDA. You can just attach storage to your agents and do that data movement. So you can see all the different storages that an agent can see. And so once you set that up, you're set to go for data movement. So let's get to the cool stuff. Now that I've shown you the storage, let's go to the dashboard. And I'm going to do some quick transfer. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pick a, let's say I want to move data that I've already archived, like a project from my Deep Glacier bucket, and I want to put that into my LucidLink production. So this would be a use case where maybe I've archived a show, I want to pull it back out of the archive, and look at this. So what I'm going to do is, I can copy, move, or sync that data. I've got conflict handling, I've got filtering for hot and cold data, but let's just get into it and do a dry run. So before I move the data, that's going to scan my Deep Glacier bucket. And what you can see here is, if you can't read it, I apologize, but we've got 3 terabytes on the left, 3,000 files. It's going to take 1 day to move that, so we tell you the cost duration, and a lot of that time is to get it at, Deep Glacier's got SLA, but what you can see on the right is the transfer cost. So even though, and then on the very far right, it's $3 to store it in Deep Glacier, so it's about $1 per terabyte, but it's very expensive to pull that out. You can see it's $327 to pull that data out of Deep Glacier. So we expose all those costs, and then you can see here, it's $164 to put it into the LucidLink per month. So we give you a breakout of all the costs associated with that, right? And then what I can do is I could actually compare that. If I wanted to put it into warm storage with LucidLink, I could do that same dry run. And what you can see here is that they're, everything else is the same, but you can see here that the storage cost went way down when using the LucidLink with Wasabi's solution, or that active archive solution. So we can demonstrate the cost modeling, the cost savings you can get, and know where you want to put your data. So now let's actually do something cool here, and I'm going to use Dominic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an example of having an S3 bucket. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to browse into that. So this is an example of how SoDA does not store data in a proprietary format. It looks just like it does on-prem, files, folders. You can see that here. I'm going to select my Lucid folder, and you can see I got a couple files here. Now Dominic over there in the Lucid production, if I click on that, there's actually nothing in there. And on the left side of his screen, you can see there's nothing in the File Explorer over there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a live transfer of the data set. So what I can do again is do my dry run. I see it's 45 megs. Not going to cost me anything because it's very little amount of data. But what I'm going to do is transfer that now. So now we're pulling data out of an S3 bucket, very, very common use case. We've already got our gold assets in the cloud. Let's move some data. So as we're moving that data, I can click. SoDA gives you real-time update on how much data is being moved, the number of files, the duration. We also checksum all the data with SoDA to make sure when you move it, you know what you moved is what you got. And so you can get actually the reports on that. So if you select a report, we give you all the MD5 hashes of that data set that you moved. See, now we've seen that this job has completed. And over there, you now see we have 2 files in there, and we can open those files. And I love mountain biking, so very cool video. So, all right, so let's do it again. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select our source. And now we're going to move from the Lucid production into the Lucid Nearline. And once again, the Lucid Nearline is empty. Actually has a folder in there. I'm going to select that folder. There's nothing in there. When I select here, you can now see my 2 files are there. And what I'll do is do my dry run again. See, it's 43 megs. and kick off my transfer. So now we're transferring the data from the original file space into the archive file space. And you can already see that the files are being transferred. It should be complete. And now we've done the file, the hot file space to the archive file space. And we can go either way. And then the final thing I wanted to show you is maybe that archive. So I'll do one more transfer where I can pick the source. So I'll pick my Lucid Nearline. And maybe I want to go to Wasabi at this point. And what I can do is select that, do my, select the SoDA Nearline folder, and then do my dry run. And then once again do that, kick that off, and we're set to go. So I really demonstrated the life cycle of the data movement all the way from ingest to archive and data protection. I've showed you the cost modeling we can do. Last but not least, SoDA has a couple other cool features that you can do. So when dealing with clouds, you may want to set a budget to avoid a surprise cloud bill. You can see here I have a budget set of $20. I've blown it last month and this month, so I'm getting my emails that I've blown that budget. And last but not least, we want to give you cost analytics and storage analytics around your storage. So we're going to tell you over different periods of time how much you're spending and how much you're storing. So we'll show you, the different periods of time, and you can see here we've got file-based storage we track, we've got cloud-based storage we track, and then we give you a breakout of two things. First, on the bottom left, you can get a breakout by storage class or by bucket. So what you're going to want to see here is you can see my LucidLink buckets are costing me money, and you can see that over that period of time. So we've got that covered. So that's how much it is to store the data, and then any egress cost is going to be on the right, where you get a breakout of that. So you're going to see the egress. If you sum up your egress or transfer cost with your storage cost, will give you your overall cost here on the top left. So that's really demonstrating how we do A, data movement, and B, the cost analytics. You can see the UI. I think it's really impressive. You guys, I don't know what you think, but it's simple, intuitive, easy to use, and those are kind of the key values of SoDA. We're super excited that they allowed me to speak in the booth today. And if you have any questions, come see me after the demo, and I'd be happy to talk to you.
So I just wanted to mention one thing. One of the things that is so similar between LucidLink and SoDA is we want you to be able to do this from anywhere. So, when we talk about any hardware or appliances that might be required for moving data or for accessing data in real time, streaming, LucidLink, no hardware required. And Greg?
We have agents that support anything, so we can load on anything, so we can access your data. That could be anything, SAN, NAS, direct attached storage, you name it, cloud storage, and we can be, simply put our agent next to yours, and we've got a joint solution.
Yeah, and so in this new age of working remotely, remote collaboration, the idea that you don't need to be at home or in the office or on a specific network to be able to do this just really opens everything up to be able to move things when you need to, respond to needs across your teams.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And what's unique, something I can mention that's different is what we can easily do is at home you can load the Lucid file space, the Lucid agent. And then what I can do with Lucid is we can spawn EC2 instance in the cloud or whatever, and then we can put our agent on that and simply move data between clouds, archive, and we don't need a server or any way to do it. We can do all that data movement in the cloud. We don't need any hardware on-prem. So this could be almost like a remote workflow with cloud-based data movement, allowing you to do all that magic in the back end without any servers on-prem or anything like that. So it's a pretty cool solution.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you both so much.
Hey,
thank you, Greg. Thank you, Brian. There you are. Yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to come up and talk to us afterwards. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for your time, guys.